Hey guys, welcome to G's Cooking Chronicles. Today we're making tabouli and we're separating the parsley, which I'm only using a one stalk. Well, actually one stalk would be for the celeries. Just kidding. So now you can use curly leaf or flat leaf, whichever you prefer. And so depending on how many bunches of parsley you use, you double that on the tomatoes. For example, I'm using 1.5, so I'm using 2 big tomatoes. And if I need more, I would get 1 more. So I'm using onions, tomatoes, parsley, mint. You can do either dried or fresh. You can do lemon juice, dried or fresh. So I'm also using a jalapeno to give it that little kick. I'm also using a pomegranate since 'tis the season. So yeah, and everything has to be finely chopped. And as far as onions go, you can use white, you can use yellow, or even green, preferably. Again, it's a personal preference on what your preference on onions is. It really doesn't make a difference. However, when you go to chop the onions, if it's white or yellow or what have you, you would take either a quarter of the onion or a little more than that, depending on the amount of onion you're using in general. So yeah, so now so what you do, you take the stems and you separate them like so. Okay, so now we got our whole bunch, right? And now when you want, you can either twist the stems off or cut them with a knife. Make sure when you use a knife, it's extremely sharp, because that's how you'll get a great finely chopped end result. I think that's yes. So let's get started. So now, always have a plastic bag next to you in this instance. That way you don't have to put them in the sink or anything. So now you just want to finely chop them. If it's your first time trying to finely chop parsley, don't sweat it. My first time was never that perfect either. So there's a trick to make it fine as well. So if you have a crescent knife, the ones that has like a 2-handle one, and then you can go like this, like a steering wheel, those are usually great for parsley. But another trick you can do with the knife, just go in a circular motion. Or go back and forth. But you gotta make sure with the tabouli, the parsley is finely chopped. Some people are critics. They prefer it super fine over fine. To me, it's gonna get eaten all the same. But again, it's all a personal preference. So don't feel the need that you have to worry about what people may think or anything like that. At the end of the day, if it tastes good, that's all that matters. Alright, so let's continue on. Alright, So now it's done. Today I'm going to use dried mint. And you're also going to use pomegranate molasses, salt, pomegranate. Some people use burgul, the wheat. There's also going to be onions, as I mentioned before, salt. Some people put black pepper, but that's where the jalapeno kick comes in. Instead of putting black pepper, you can do that. So yeah, it's very simple. It's basically like making grape leaves minus the rice. That's all it really is. Alright, so now on to putting the dried mint. So usually when you're chopping the fresh mint, you usually want to put them together and then mix the parsley with the mint, so that way they don't have like what does my mom say? Can't even remember what she says. But basically it will give it an off taste. So as you see here, I'm mixing the parsley with the mint. And now moving on to the tomatoes. You can leave the onion last. It's also good to have this type of knife, this serrated knife. I guess they call it a steak knife. And all you have to do is just get the tip of it and the bottom. So when you're cutting the tomatoes, right? Let's see, I was trying to give you guys a better feel for it. So when you're cutting the tomatoes, you want to do thin slices. Because again, they have to be finely chopped. So when you're also, a little trick is when you're doing the tomatoes, if you have a big cutting board that can hold the liquid, you can have more than 2 tomatoes on the cutting board. So that way it's a lot easier to finely chop them. Remember, you want to have them thin slices. Well, they can be thinner, but again, if it's your first time, don't even sweat it, to be quite honest. There we go. So now the chopping begins. So you see, this is what I mean by finely chopped. Okay. So hey guys, welcome back. So now this is the size of the onion that you're going to use. So let me show you what I've done so far. So here you can see the tomatoes, the parsley, and the dried mint. So what I always do when I cut the onion, I always rinse it, just in case there's any residue or anything like that that's left over. If my phone wants to cooperate. I guess it doesn't. Sorry guys. So now, when you guys cut the onion, like I've shown you guys before. I don't mind. I'll show you again. So what you want to do, there we go. You want to do layers. Just watch your hand as you're cutting. Okay. Alright. And now you want to do lines going like this. Very, very thin. Very thin lines. And make sure you watch your fingers if the knife is super sharp. And I'll show you how to finely chop onions too. And when you cut up the jalapeno, you want to be, if you don't want to use your hand, like, go freelance without gloves, by all means you can. I'll show you. So back to the burgul. If you want to use it, you're more than welcome to. Just keep in mind you need, number one, it's at your local specialty Middle Eastern stores. And yeah, so as you see here, I'm almost done with the chopping. This one has better lighting. I'll tell you. So just like with the parsley, the reason it's just the technique. And things will get better over time. So, as you see, this is how finely chopped you want them to be. And for the lemon juice, you can either make it fresh or you can have it, you can either do freshly squeezed or you can do something else. It's totally your preference. So now, before I do the jalapeno, actually, I can do the jalapeno now. It won't make a difference because I'm not chopping the pomegranate. But for the pomegranate, you just need, if it's a size like this bad boy, you need half of it or even a quarter, especially if you're only doing a small amount. So since I'm doing a small amount of tabouli, I'm not going to use the whole thing, mainly because as you hear in the background, I have two little ones, actually three, but the third one is playing in his playpen. So you might just need like a quarter of it. So I would say roughly about this much. Because you don't want it to be too spicy for the kids either. So again, you want to finely chop this. Some people put jalapenos, again, some people don't. If you're allergic to jalapenos, don't bother with it at all. Take that whole ingredient out. This is just a personal preference. If you're into spice and everything nice, just add a little bit of jalapeno just to give it that little kick and that little taste. And make sure you wash your hand very well from the jalapeno, because if you accidentally put your hand in your eye, like I did once before, it'll burn. Yeah. So, now with that being done, you just scoop it. You take the other knife that you used, and voila. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, if it's clear, but yeah, there you go. So there you go. Those are the ingredients for the tabouli. Very easy, very simple, and very quick. And now I'm going to add pomegranate. I'm wearing an apron because this actually sprays, so you can be careful with that, guys. And then you just basically you pick at it. Hey, you guys, you want to come say hi?
Why?
Just if you want. Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello.
What's your name?
Nadim.
Nadim, yes. That's one of my 2 taste testers that we have. Where'd you go? I thought you were introducing yourself, little miss.
No, Nadim.
Okay. So this is where we're at now. And now we're gonna add the last few ingredients: the salt, the lemon juice, the pomegranate molasses, and olive oil, and then we'll mix it up. All right, guys. So welcome back. So if you have a small amount, you want to start with a teaspoon, or actually make that 2 teaspoons, which is equivalent to, or what is it? So yeah, basically you'll need 1 tablespoon of salt, and so this is your pomegranate molasses, or as we Lebanese like to call it, dips it in. You can get it at your specialty Middle Eastern stores. You need at least a tablespoon of this or more based on taste. Then you need a tablespoon of lemon, actually a 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice if you're making a small amount. If you're making more, then just use 1/2 a cup. And then you would need like 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Alright, guys. 1 second. So when you're putting pomegranate molasses, you can just like drizzle it on like that. And if you may need a little more. And there you go. After you mix it up, you taste it. And if you feel it needs more, just add a little bit. So same thing with the lemon juice. Okay. Let it get for kids laughter. Okay. And now the olive oil. And now we mix it. So this is the type of spoon you're gonna need. And you want to mix it really well. So now we got our little taste testers, now that everything's mixed up. So now that we taste it, see? Mwah! It's delicious. So.
Can you get this away? Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Alright. So it needs a little extra pomegranate molasses. And then a hint of olive oil. And now that we did all that, let's do a taste test again. And make sure you stir it really, really well. Okay. So now let's just... So now we got our two little taste testers here. First, we got the eldest. It's okay. Okay, come on. How is it? What is it missing? Olive oil? Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. So there you go. There you have it. And this is my little man. Hi. Say hi, everybody. What's wrong? Oh, you're hungry. As you can tell, we have some very hungry people. And now we have our other little taste tester right here. Come here. Come here, Nadim. Come here. Open. How is it? What's it missing? What's it missing? Sure. You ask your kids to taste it. Now it's perfect. All right, guys.
Now can I taste it?
Sure. All right. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Now tell everybody what you think of it.
Well, the
Tabouli.
bully, like, the taste is good. So I asked Mommy to put a little bit olive oil in it. Now it tastes good. Bye.
All right, guys, you heard it from my #1 taste tester. Say bye. All right, guys, G's out. Happy eating. Hi. Yeah. Say bye-bye. All right, guys. Bon appetit. There you go. All right, peace. Peace and love. Say bye.